In our first reading from the book of the prophet Ezekiel, the Lord takes Ezekiel to a cemetery and he tells them what to tell the people. O my people, I will raise you from your graves. I will raise you up from your graves, and I will put my spirit within you. I will do it because I am the Lord. It sets the scene for the gospel, where Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. It's a very moving story, isn't it? We've heard it over and over, but it's so touching and beautiful. Jesus comes and shows his humanity. He shows that he is truly human and truly divine. Martha and Mary and Lazarus were good friends of Jesus. Jesus often went to their home to have dinner, conversation, to relax a while before he would go out and continue his work. They were very important to him. They were like family to him. And so Lazarus' death really hit Jesus hard. It says in the gospel that Jesus wept. He wept. That gives us comfort, doesn't it? Jesus knows how we feel when we lose somebody that we love. It's important for us to realize that Jesus was human as well as divine. There's a story about, it's a true story, a man named Jeffrey Blatnick, who was an Olympic gold medal winner back in 1984 when the Olympics were in Los Angeles. Jeffrey Blatnick was a wrestler. He was competing in wrestling, and he did win the gold medal. But the amazing thing was that 18 months before he won that gold medal, he was diagnosed with serious cancer, and he had surgery for the cancer. He was determined that he was going to be in the Olympics and win the wrestling gold medal. And that day when he did win the medal, he didn't stand up and wave to the crowd and like, look at me, I've won. He immediately, when he got the medal, he knelt down, he made the sign of the cross and bowed his head to pray. The TV camera was able to get a close shot of his face, and they said that there were tears just rolling down from his eyes. This 220-pound wrestler, winner of the gold medal, was kneeling in prayer and thanksgiving to God for what he had done for him. He truly was showing his humanity, just like Jesus did in the gospel. He wept. And I think it's a lesson for us that everything that we own, everything we have, even ourselves, is on loan from God. We are on loan from God. And it's very important. There's another story about a family who had a dog named Waddles. I think it probably was the way it walked because they called it Waddles. And the boy in the family, the son, loved the dog very, very much. One day he came home from school, and his father was home early from work, and he was there to tell the boy that Waddles had waddled out into the street and was hit by a car and killed. The family was so distraught because they loved the dog. And they decided to have a funeral for it of their own in the backyard. So they buried Waddles under the apple tree. And the father decided to give a little homily. And he said to his son, remember that Waddles was just on loan to us from God. We had him for a while and we enjoyed him. Now we must return him to God. He said, remember that, and remember one more thing. Don't bury yourself in the grave with Waddles. Don't stay here and mourn. You have to get up and live. Don't bury yourself in the grave with Waddles. And I think that's a lesson for us too. Sometimes we can get so steeped in our mourning when we lose a loved one that we find it hard to live. But the Lord's saying to us, I am going to come and give you a new spirit. I will fill you with my spirit. And so we're always looking forward to the resurrection from the dead. That's what Lent's about. We're going to celebrate it in 2 weeks, that Jesus rose from the dead. And because he did, we as his faithful followers are going to rise from the dead someday too, Death is never the end, it's only a new beginning of eternal life in heaven. Whoever lives and believes in me, the gospel says today, will never die. Do you believe this? Jesus asks us that question. And we need to respond like Martha and Mary. Yes, Lord, I do believe that you are the resurrection and the life, and that I will live forever in your kingdom. I only need to follow you faithfully. Lent's all about following the Lord more faithfully. You're in this church today because that's just what you want to do. The Lord asked you to be here, and you're here, and that's a good thing. And the Lord is with us, and he'll walk out of this church with us, and he'll be with us. Jesus in his humanity knows exactly what life is for us. Jesus was hungry after he fasted in the desert. Jesus was depressed when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. So much so was he filled with anxiety and depression that he sweat blood. He was deeply depressed. Jesus was betrayed by his apostles. They abandoned him when he needed them the most, that day when he was being carried off to be crucified. Jesus knows what it is to have broken relationships. He knows what it is to be hungry, to be sick, to be ill, to be afraid. He knows all those things. And so we can go to him with confidence that he knows what we go through, and he will comfort us. What we need to do is live by walking with Jesus. He will carry us through all the experiences of our life, both good things and difficult things, and lead us once and for all into the kingdom of heaven.